for joining us today on the Daily Edition. We've got all the action from the 70th Annual Emmy Awards, the winners, the losers, and even a shock proposal.
Plus, grey is the new black, why older models are taking over the catwalk and the silver fox becoming a fashion favourite at age 76.
Then cricketing great Steve Waugh, why he's swapping the wicket for wheels and hitting the road for a special challenge.
Also ahead, all the details on the pre-Emmys brawl that left one screen star filing a police report against a high-profile producer.
But first, let's all get the latest from the 7 Newsroom. Thanks, Ryan.
Tom, Sam, good to be with you both. Good afternoon, everyone. There's been a shock development in the fruit contamination scare that's disrupted the sale and supply of strawberries. A Sydney woman has found a needle inside an apple she was peeling. Robert Avadia has more.
Well, this investigation is very much in its infancy. It does add to more than a dozen cases of needles being found in fruit right across the country in the past week or so. This time it was an apple. A mother in Sydney's northwest in Kellyville was peeling that apple for her daughters to take to lunch this morning around about 7:30. She was horrified to discover the needle inside it. She initially thought that it was the stem, couldn't believe that she too has become a victim of this. Now, this particular batch were Pink Lady apples sold in 6-packs at Woolworths at the Ponds, not far from where she lives. We inspected that Woolworths this morning. We discovered that those apples are still on sale, but we also learned from Woolies that both the Queensland Department of Health and New South Wales Police have advised not to remove the apples just for the moment.
I've seen the news about the strawberries and I've been vigilant with cutting those up for the girls. But to see this in an apple, I actually thought this was, these were safe.
Of course, this follows at least a dozen instances where needles have been found inside punnets of strawberries. 4 of the latest cases have been reported in Perth, WA, joining Queensland now, New South Wales, Victoria and South Australia, where shoppers have bought sabotage punnets. Some growers in Queensland are even installing metal detectors to guarantee safety for customers in a desperate bid to reassure them their produce is safe. Aldi has also decided to restock strawberry brands to their shelves after a complete recall on the weekend. So this is really affecting the entire industry, not only the producers, the farmers who are already doing it so tough through drought, but right across the supply chain, packagers, the retailers and the wholesale as well. Police are very much onto it. There's possibly going to be a strike force, a national strike force organised for this to combat this growing problem.
Thanks, Robert Avadia there with that report. A man has died after being hit by a crane on the Western Ring Road in Melbourne. It's believed a truck pulled into an emergency lane at Deer Park and a driver and passenger got out to check the truck's load. The 34-year-old passenger was then hit by a passing crane and died at the scene. No one else was hurt. At least one person has been killed and a dangerous tornado ripping across the American state of Virginia has caused chaos. It came close to the state capital in Richmond, where it destroyed a building as it whipped debris into the air. Drivers raced to get out of the way. A string of tornadoes has been spawned by the former tropical cyclone Florence. 7 people, including a number of children, have been injured when a spooked camel bolted during a circus show in the US. 2 children and an adult were riding the camel at the Shrine Circus in Pittsburgh when the animal became startled. It took just 11 seconds for handlers to regain control of the camel, but in that time, several people were hurt. News just in, Sam Burgess has just addressed the media following the sexting scandal that has plagued the Rabbitohs. 7 Sport editor Jim Wilson joins us live at the desk now. Good afternoon, Jim.
G'day, Ryan.
What do you have to say?
Not a lot. I mean, I think there's still a lot of unanswered questions, Ryan. I think we were expecting Sam Burgess to come out today and put his hand up and say, accept responsibility. But it's still the subject of an NRL integrity unit investigation. And Sam was basically saying until that investigation is complete in the next 24 to 48 hours, that he can't say much at all. This goes back to the sexting scandal from last week, as you mentioned, Ryan. It's an incident from earlier in the year involving a young woman following a match in Auckland where the Bunnies had beaten the Warriors. Now, let's have a listen to what Sam had to say a short time ago, in particular, the toll that it's taken on his family and wife Phoebe.
It's been a tough process to go through as a family together, but I'm fortunate that I've got a strong wife. I've got a wife who loves me. I've got a great family. I've got great friends. I'm not angry. I'm not. You know, what hurts me the most is seeing my wife upset about what's what's out there, and obviously having to deal with that. I think, but I'm not angry, you know, and like I said, that's why I'm completely happy to go through the process and be as open and honest with everything. And like I said, I'll follow that process, and hopefully, as you asked before, Brini, it's resolved sooner rather than later.
Of course, Jim, the Rabbitohs are deep into a finals campaign, so what will happen next for Sam Burgess?
Well, they're due to play on Saturday night in a huge game against their traditional rivals, the Roosters, Brian. Again, he's sticking to the party line that until that integrity unit investigation has been complete, there's not a lot else he can say. But certainly, I think it was very clear in that media conference the toll that it's taken on his family, what family means to him, and also on his wife Phoebe, who's 6 months pregnant to the couple's second child, has been enormous. So, as I said, it's a distraction that obviously a terrible timing, as I say, deep into the finals series. We'll know more in the next day or so as far as that integrity unit investigation. But right now, Sam Burgess will play on Saturday night against the Roosters.
And other players speaking this afternoon, Jim, so I'm sure we'll have further updates on that at 4 and 6.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we'll get a clearer picture, we hope, this afternoon of the players that were also involved in the scandal earlier this year. But still plenty to play out with this story. But as I said, subject to an NRL integrity unit investigation. But certainly Sam made it very clear then the enormous strain that it's put on the family unit.
Yeah. And we know that Phoebe cancelled all her engagements that she had, but she's finally posted on social media, Jim, saying that she is, well, insinuating that she is really supporting Sam throughout all of this, and she posted a family photo now, so that's the first time we've really heard from her.
Yeah, well, she's supposed to be at a promotional appearance, Sam, on Saturday at Randwick at the races. She didn't attend that. Certainly, you know, I think she's got a very good family unit around her. She's obviously publicly supporting Sam, but I think you could tell by that media conference with Sam Burgess just then that certainly the stress and the trauma that's been caused at home has been pretty horrific. Yeah.
All right, Jim, thanks very much. Good to have you at the desk.
No problems. Thanks, Tom.
All right, still to come, meet the 76-year-old Silver Fox who's becoming one of Australia's most in-demand models. He's live on his latest campaign.
And in just a moment, the surprises on and off the stage at this year's Emmy Awards. How a director stole the show, that's next.